What's up? This is Jerry from Papa Roach, and you are on BackstageAxxess.com, where the real show begins. Yeah!
Hey everyone, this is Chris with BackstageAxxess.com, and we are lucky to have the Axeman from one of my absolute favorite bands joining us today. We have guitarist Jerry Horton from Papa Roach. Welcome, Jerry. Welcome to BackstageAxxess.com, and thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
So let's talk about the new album, Fear. And I understand that is an acronym for something, which I just personally love the positivity of that. So could you tell us what it stands for and a little bit about the concept behind that title?
It stands for Face Everything and Rise. And it's kind of something that Jacoby's written about quite a bit in the past. You know, turning a negative into a positive, or, you know, going through struggle, and, you know, getting through it and coming out on the other side. This just really, this acronym just really encompasses that concept, you know, completely, and, you know, it embodies the whole record.
Okay. Now I understand the writing process was a little bit done differently for this record in compared to past albums, and you guys had gone into the studio pretty much nothing. Can you tell us a little bit about how that worked out this time?
We went into the studio and we had, I think, one chorus.
Okay.
And the setup was a lot different than what we've had in the past. We didn't really have the time, or we couldn't really jam, basically.
Okay.
Besides, you know, early on we kind of insisted that we did, but it just was taken away from Kevin's work because the room was right next door, and, you know, it was distracting to everybody, I guess. So, you know, after that first couple of days, it just said no more of that, and which is difficult for us because we're used to getting in a room and playing together. So we basically rented a house and all lived in in one house together, and we worked on music during the day, in the morning and the afternoon, and we had our little studio set up at the house. We'd work a song up, or, you know, musical piece, and then take it to the studio and play it for everybody, producer and you know, Jacoby, and if everybody was on board with it, we would, you know, record it on the spot and you know, fine tune it from there. But if it didn't really get anybody excited, we would just kind of set it off to the side and start on something new.
Okay.
So yeah, there was just you know, a lot different, because normally we'd spend about a month or so writing all the material and then record it, whereas this time it was write a song, record it, move on to the next one.
Okay.
So,
was it difficult living together during that process, or did you think it made the whole creative process easier?
No, it definitely makes it easier. We're all very respectful of each other. You know, if somebody needs space or whatever, you know, it's just kind of we've become used to being together all the time, and we actually do like each other. So that part of it, you know, just having that access to all the other members all the time, you know, bouncing ideas off of each other.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't just a typical work situation where you go somewhere for a while and then leave and then come back the next day. It was just kind of all the time, all day, you know, and it was great. I think, you know, it was definitely an integral part of making the record.
Okay. And this time you guys chose to record in Vegas. Was there a certain reason behind that, or were you just looking for a change of scenery?
we wanted to work with Kevin Turco and
Okay.
his son Kane, and that's where they are. And we actually asked them if they would come to Sacramento because we have a studio and we prefer to work at home.
Right.
But they said no, that we have they have their setup and they need it to give us the sound that we're looking for, which is what drew us to them in the first place.
Okay.
Because they have really great tones and their heavy stuff sounds pounding. So we wanted that for the record, and so we had to compromise and go to Vegas. And
Okay.
it was fine. It wasn't like we're kind of past the point in our lives where we're always looking for crazy stuff to do or whatever. So we weren't at the Strip really at all. It was just focus on the work and right at the house, go to the studio, next day do the same thing. So
Okay. So it was a positive experience working with Kevin and his son on this record?
It was really, it was great. It was really cool. We did 5 songs. We worked for about a month with Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
We did 5 songs with him, and then In This Moment came into the studio.
Okay.
And he had committed to work with them. So when they came in, we went to work with Kane in the next room, and it was really cool. It was interesting to see the different styles between the father and son, and it just turned out great. Like, we're stoked.
Absolutely. Now, they have a reputation for being able to kind of push a band creatively kind of out of their box a little bit. Do you think that was the case with this album?
I think that the way that they contributed was a lot of, production tricks.
Okay.
They helped with lyrics and vocals. And they did some arrangement stuff, but I think a lot of the raw creativity came more from the band.
Okay.
But it's definitely, it sounds a lot different than any of our previous stuff, and we do like all the stuff that they did. Like, we do like.
Hello? You cut out for a second, but I think you're back. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
So what was the last part that you heard?
You were just talking about the band was the main force of creativity, but that they had helped out with the production and some new tricks as far as that goes.
Yeah, I was just saying we really like all the production stuff. That it just adds an extra element that we didn't have a lot of before.
Sure, and it does sound the album does sound different, but yet it's definitely distinctively Papa Roach, without a doubt. There were a few surprises though. Can you tell me a little bit about the track Warriors and the hip hop vibe there? You brought in Royce to 5'9". How did that all come about?
Jacoby's been a fan, of Royce for a while now, and he knew that he wanted to have a guy somebody do a flow on a song, and it was just like, he had a few guys in mind, but then just really dug into Royce and his freestyle ability, and he's one of the main guys that Eminem looked up to when he was coming up. So he just basically sent him a text and said, "Hey, do you want to do something for a track?" And he said, "Sure, let's do it. Just send it to me."
Okay. Awesome. And, the band as a whole, you know, you guys have never been shy about writing about all the difficulties in your life and your personal experiences. Especially Jacoby, you know, he's come out and said a lot of things, and you can see it on the album. It's a very personal album. Do you think that it's more difficult when you're writing about such things that are close to the heart, or do you think it helps serve as a kind of way of healing the whole process?
It's not hard for him.
Okay.
I think that, you know, for him, like, it's one thing to, if he's going through something tough, it's one thing to talk to us about it, but I think really where he is able to move on is when he writes about it.
Okay.
And me personally, I don't know if I could put myself out there that much, but he just, you know, I think that, you know, he knows that not only does it help him, but it also helps other people too. And
absolutely.
And you know, that sort of probably, I mean, I can almost say with certainty that it reinforces his confidence and willingness to kind of put it out there, you know, because people that are into our music, you know, they connect to it on a much deeper level than, hey, that's a cool riff,
right?
You know, that they actually, you know, are feeling what he's feeling, and I think that we all realize that it's a very important part to what we do. And you know, I think just for him, like you said, it serves, you know, as healing for him, because he's a guy that he's always got internal struggle going on, even if you know he's been sober for almost 3 years, but he still has that struggle inside of him, and it's just something that he does, is just write about it and, you know, get it out there. And you know, once I think the way he looks at it is that once he writes about it and gets it out there, like, it's not a burden on him anymore, and it just, you know, it ends up being its own entity out there for everybody to take in and hopefully help some people.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now the record's due out early 2015 still?
Yes.
Okay, and also
January 27th in the States.
Okay, great. And also in 2015, you've got the 15th anniversary of Infest coming up. After all these years, how do the albums compare? Because there's a lot of similarities with the new record, but of course there's a lot of differences.
Yeah, for this record, you know, we had the intention of doing a heavy record. Didn't really work out that way, but sorry about that. You know, it's something that we do like to change it up. We like to introduce new stuff to the music, but at the same time, we know who we are, and we know what the elements that we love about, you know, what we do. And you know, it's basically the idea of taking the best of what, you know, the best of what we've done in the past and integrating that. And you know, we love the groove, we love the riffs, and Jacoby's really good at rapping. So you know, we just said, let's just go for it. You know, if it feels right, let's just go with it. So
cool. Now you guys are also going to be touring come January. This will be a co-headlining tour with Seether. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're actually really excited. You know, we've done a tour with them in the past, but it was we were both supporting another band, and you know, we knew that we were gonna need to do a proper tour to kind of debut the record, they became available, and we love those guys, and it just seemed to be a really easy decision. So we think it's going to be a great package for everybody.
Sure.
Because we're not the same band, but I think that we mix pretty well, and we're just really excited about the tour.
Okay. Any possibility of the bands performing any songs together this time out?
There is a possibility of that, yes.
Okay. Now, I also heard that you were working on a photography book of your own photography work. Is that still in the works? And can you tell us what's happening with that?
It is in the works. I haven't been able to really focus on it as much as I would like to, because I've been sort of, I did the photography for the album artwork, and I've been kind of working on the art direction for everything.
Okay.
But I am working on the book, and it's really just, it's got no particular concept in mind. It's just, things that I've captured in my travels and that kind of stuff. It kind of came about as somebody else's suggestion, and it wasn't supposed to, it wasn't supposed to be out there as a talking point, but it just sort of, somebody took it and ran with it. So it's a good thing, because it's kind of making me get up off my ass and do it, because it's something that I've been doing as a hobby for a long time, and not really worried about putting it out there. But if people want to see it, then I guess I need to do it. Okay,
yeah, absolutely. We'd love to check that out. Well, good luck with that, and of course, best of luck with the album dropping in January. It's killer, so I'm sure it's going to be crazy for you this year, and the tour with Seether coming up as well.
We're really stoked about it. We've gotten a lot of good response from everybody, and it's just we feel like we're waiting for a long time, or it's a normal thing. You wait 6 months before the record comes out, but
right.
These days it's like everybody wants it now, and we kind of want to give it to them now, but we also know we need to set it up. So we're definitely stoked for everybody to hear it.
Yeah, eagerly anticipated, definitely. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. We do appreciate you filling us in on the record and the tour, and we look forward to it all.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.